So we're gonna do a picture of us sleeping in bed with a comforter that's full of some really vibrant designs and patterns. And we're gonna wanna make each section different to add variety to our work. The first thing we're gonna do is the drawing, and you are going to be drawing with a pencil first, but I'm going to use a Sharpie so you can see. I'm gonna come up, down a little bit from the top, and I'm gonna do an oval for the head. So I'm gonna come and do an oval for the head. And then I'm gonna do in the middle of my head. A lot of times friends draw their eyes up too far. It's actually in the middle. We're gonna do 2 curves. And then off those curves, I'm just gonna do some lines for eyelashes. And then I'm gonna do an L for my nose. Now everyone has eyelashes, by the way. Above my eyes, I'm also gonna do an upwards curve for my eyebrows. And then your mouth, I don't know. Mine, I'm just gonna have it closed. Are you smiling in your sleep? Are you drooling? Is your tongue hanging out? Are you snoring? Is your mouth open? Mine's just gonna be kind of closed. So I'm gonna do a nice curved line like that with 2 curves at the end. But if you wanna draw your tongue hanging out or some drool coming off your lips, that's fine with me. All right, now we're gonna come down into the head and think about our hairline. Mrs. Plummer has a widow's peak, which means it kind of comes at a point, but you might have bangs. You might have just a regular curved hairline. And then off of that, I'm also gonna do my ears, and those come right about where my eyebrows and eyes are. So I'm gonna do C shapes with little curves inside. If you wear earrings, you can draw those, although most of us usually take those off when we go to sleep. Okay, now I'm gonna think about my hair. I have kind of wavy hair that goes pretty far down, so until about, I don't know, right here. So I'm just gonna draw that in. Anything else you have, like I have this little mole on the top of my head, that's part of my identity. Things like glasses, you don't normally wear when you're sleeping, so I'm not gonna draw those. Now I'm gonna do my neck, and I'm just gonna do 2 curves, because your neck's not a straight line. It does have some curves to it, but I also don't wanna keep it too thin. It has to be strong enough to hold my head. So from that neck, I'm gonna do a line on each side, like this, a wavy line. This is gonna be our blanket. It's a night even if you don't use your blanket when you sleep, in this picture we are gonna have our blankets on, just because it's gonna help us get that drawing that is inspired by Gustav. All right, now I'm gonna do a pillow, and from my hair I'm gonna do a line coming out, and I'm gonna now draw a line on this side. I wanna try to draw it at the same point, so I don't wanna draw it way up here, or I'm gonna have a crooked pillow. I wanna kind of come out right about here. And then same thing, I want to do a line going up from that line that's the same length. So if I was to draw my finger across, oh, it looks like that one's maybe a little short. I also don't want to go through my head. All right, so there we go. Now I have that, and I'm just gonna do some kind of like some U's and some lines in my pillow to make it look like my head's putting pressure on that pillow. Now that I have my pillow, I'm just gonna do the outer edge. Now, in mine, I did some fancy bumpy line around my pillow for my pillowcase. And by the way, friends, you do not need to draw things exactly how they look in your room. In fact, I don't want you to do that. I know in Gustav's art that a lot of his stuff he probably made up and changed how it really looked in real life, and that's what we're doing. So instead of bumpy lines around mine, I'm just gonna do a straight line and keep it pretty simple. Okay, so there's that. Now we're gonna break our blanket up into sections. We're gonna just do a few sections. So we're gonna start, we're gonna come where the neck is, and we're gonna do a diagonal line that goes from there to the other side of our paper. So there's section 1. Now I'm gonna do section 2, and that's gonna come off this last line I did and go to the other side of the paper. So there's 1, there's 2. Now I'm gonna do one across like this. And then I'm gonna do one up and down like this. So what we want is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your sections need to be pretty big so that way you have room to draw. And we're also going to be painting, so we need to have room for our paint. Okay, friends, so there we have it. We have our blanket broken up into sections. So now what we're going to do is practice our patterns.